Ah, I can finally play my favorite game after this long day, I said excitedly. I was then diddled by the sweatiest, most bitchless, unemployed creatures this planet has ever seen, and I went triple negative.
Hey, recently I found the most hell yeah game to ever exist, Monster Hunter World. You guys really enjoyed watching me mess with the ecosystem in the new world, and I had a lot of fun sharing that experience with you. But a lot of you pointed out something. All I played was basically just the tutorial for the Iceborne DLC. And that got me really excited. At the same time, it was hard to imagine anything worse than the Raytheon family. God, was I wrong. Iceborne made me fight the most disgusting, annoying, ungodly creatures that made me sweat so hard I actually broke my mouse, fighting for my life over and over again. Oh, you should totally try Iceborne, it's a lot of fun. You just wanted to see me suffer. I swear I was about to make a 30-minute tier list of my most hated monsters from this torture of a DLC. And you know what? There's not a single Raytheon on it. That's how painful it was. But I decided to keep that for later. So let me get my finest fit and get straight into what you came for. My torment. Welcome to the brand new Ice Cold map located in Canada. This insanely dangerous place will keep your hunt addict ass really entertained. A giant, beautiful snowy map, about 40 new monsters, far worse than in the original game, and a ton of weapons and armor you can craft from them, in the usual non-consent hunting manner. And... Popo. It's hard to call Iceborne a DLC, because it adds so much content. It could easily be called Monster Hunter 2. It doesn't just add a map where you hunt and that's it. It fills your base game with a lot of cool stuff too, like Master Rank. This is basically your new main maximum difficulty for the whole game, throwing much stronger monsters right in your face. Apart from 20 new monsters from Iceborne, it adds 19 stronger variants of already existing ones that will absolutely violate you. They of course drop better loot that pushes your weapons and armor to a new level of rarity, allowing you to create some decent loadouts, thanks to the extra gel slots, in which you can put even more skills to up your hunting game. And trust me, you will really need those. Because holy shit, those new bastards are insanely strong. You'll be burning through armor spheres like a college kid through instant noodles just to keep your gear maxed out, because if you don't, even the tiniest sneeze from a monster will launch your goofy ass straight back to camp. And the developers actually thought about that. They knew how ridiculous these monsters are, so they gave you a horse taxi. At first I thought it was just to help travel the map faster, but after finishing the whole DLC, I realized the truth. They just wanted my balls in a constant cycle of pain and gave me the mount so I could get my ass kicked even faster. But honestly, those things are a massive time saver. And that's probably the biggest tip of this whole video. Get yourself a mount, aka raider, in every location as soon as you can. Each area has its own quest for it, usually during expeditions. They are pretty easy to complete, and the reward is your own sick ride. No license required, and it runs entirely on your shattered dreams. This thing goes anywhere you tell it at straight up illegal speed. Just set a waypoint. It can track monsters in no time, or instantly follow it during a chase. And the best part, you don't have to press a single thing, thanks to built-in autopilot. That means while riding, you can sharpen your weapon, chug potions, buff yourself up, all on the go. It saves a ridiculous amount of time, and it's not even limited to Iceborne maps. Much appreciated. Just like the next feature, Clutch Claw. A pretty fun tool that I forget exists most of the time, but it's actually really useful, especially if you know when to use it. It lets you cling to any monster like a tick. From there you can attack and wound that part, jump to another part, hit the monster to change its direction, or blast its ass with a slingshot to disorient it, making it catch some serious head trauma along the way. So yeah, another tool that will make your annoying ass even more annoying. I really like to use it on the monsters that are trying to flee, because you can use them as a ride. It looks pretty stupid, but in reality, it's a pro strat. Oh, and it deals a tiny bit of damage. I use this feature to harass Vespoids, and I even managed to get 2 final blows this way. That's gotta be rare. Yeah, I failed the mission, so what, huh? You have a problem with that, huh? I had the most fun with this thing while fighting a bony Odo in a tiny area. Sending his ass flying into a wall over and over again, making him absorb a ton of damage, really made me smile. And right when he was about to escape, I easily changed his plans with a load into his face. So yeah, most of the time, when I try to hook a monster, I get knocked on the ground like a dumbass. But sometimes it works, and it can deal a lot of impact. So it's pretty situational tool, but it gets bonus style points because the animations are pretty dope. And another new mechanic is the camera. I'm sorry, I skip all the lore, so I have no idea. When we got this thing, we can take selfies before we even get electricity. Like, seriously, there isn't a single lamp. How is this the priority? Anyway, you can take photos now. You can capture some sick moments like this. Or something beautiful like this. But I never really cared about it that much. You bring them to some guy for something, I don't know. If it actually gives cool rewards for monster feed pics, let me know in the comments. Because right now, the whole thing just feels disturbing. But enough of the small stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Welcome to Hoarfrost Reach, your new -100 degrees playground. Full of ice. Ice mountains, ice fishing, ice piles of shit. Visually, easily my favorite map so far. It looks stunning, not a nightmare to traverse compared to Ancient Forest. It got cozy hot springs, penguins. But it also hosts one of the most disgusting creatures to ever walk the earth. Barioth. My friend once told me he lost to this bastard like 20 times in a row. Because Barioth is a total menace, so I wasn't happy when I got him as my quest target. But when I finally encountered him, damn, the design of this guy, 8 hell yeah out of 10. Look at him, it's a freaking saber-tooth. The fight though, really hard. Because Barioth has no chill. This giant cat can sprint at Mach 5. He spams leaps, throws ice tornadoes, hits you so hard you forget to pay your taxes. I was shocked when it worked on me. Thankfully, he didn't have what we humans have. The power of friendship. Back at the 5th fleet we call it a fair fight. Although Barioth isn't the only new monster, he's definitely the most memorable. Probably because of his aggressive design. Like take Banboro for example. You probably forgot who that is. He looks cool, but I don't fear him. I wanna pet him, maybe feed him some ice ferns. And Beatodus, he's just a fish. A frozen fish. Oh, but his quest, funniest shit I've seen, is the one where you unlock the radar for this area. You gotta help those little criminals called Boa Boa. I have no idea who they are, or why they hate this fish so much. Maybe Beatodus killed their families. Or maybe they just like sushi. But seeing 20 of those furballs pop out of the snow and throw everything they had at Beatodus, that was the highlight of the DLC for me. There's also a stronger Enginoth variant, now with lightning. Again, still no lamps back at the base. It's a fun fight, until it runs away like 6 times in a row. And of course, the mini-boss of the story, Velkhana. I hate her. She takes forever to kill, her tail feels like a separate boss, and that BS move where she chews mint gum and blasts you with a beam of freshness? I was mad. Not to mention, she's an Elder Dragon, which is always a pain in the ass. So yeah, she's memorable, but not for good reasons. Most of the new monsters are spread across the main game, and almost every one of them is a menace. With some really cool designs like combine a T-Rex and a knife, you get Glavenus. Combine a Rhinoceros Beetle and Evangelion, you get Brachydius.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Take Basilgeus and even more cancer, you get his buffed version. Holy shit, I hate Basilgeus. This annoying B-29 Super Fortress will do everything it can to ruin your hunt. For example, I just needed to capture a high-rank Gyros, and every single time this giant abomination would dive straight into me for no reason. Oh, you piece of sh... I failed 2 or 3 hunts in a row because I was rushing so much that I accidentally one-shotted Gyros. Not happy. Not only was this thing irritating, it also wouldn't die, because developers gave it the health pool of 12 Cybertrucks. So imagine my joy when I encountered a buffed version of this shit stain of a monster. That was a lot of damage. Thanks to him, I now always carry poop in my pocket, because after Iceborne, I consider it the most powerful item in the entire game, capable of sending any monster you hate straight back to where it came from. I know not everyone will feel the same frustration I did, and maybe now that I'm stronger, I deal with them easier, but the damage is already done, and the only way to fix it is... gambling! Bet you didn't expect that in a game about hunting monsters. Back at Siliana, you can throw your life savings into a slot machine and win cool stuff, with 0 rules, no guide, no explanation. I don't know if I should put a disclaimer, since this is literally a casino machine. But don't worry, don't give up, because 99% of people stop before hitting it big.
I'm losing my house.
This is a great source of ancient potions and meds in general, which foreshadows nicely how much you'll need them later. You can get some bonuses if you guess the right combination when this weird slot machine window pops up. Like, one gives you unlimited fuel for a while, another one summons felines that straight up show you the correct pattern. Other than that, there's no way to predict the results, you just gotta feel the machine, become one with the slots. Only then will you be able to hit jackpot 3 times in a row, like me. I lost my SSD to this old devil, I think I have a problem. Overall, I fully understand why Iceborne is so popular. Beasts in Iceborne actually forced me to try out new weapons. After bonking my way through the main game with the hammer, I decided to try something new. My first choice was the dopamine machine, the greatsword. It was my second favorite war crime tool, and it was a lot of fun, especially with the built-in Bill Cosby element. I will never get tired of it. But even though it felt great, there was one big flaw. Greatsword is slow. Painfully slow. Even with maxed out focus, I couldn't do anything to some monsters. They were so fast that the whole hunt felt like a game of tag. Like seriously, how the fuck does this giant trash can predict my every move while weighing more than a ton? When I started Iceborne, I met some insanely annoying monsters. So bad that my generational Raytheon hate felt like a small complaint. Yes, they are that bad. And buffed Valhazak easily made it into my most hated encounters, thanks to him being a massive piece of shit. I lost his assigned quest 5 times in a row. Each one took more than 40 minutes of pure suffering, until my body came to help, and we barely took him down after like 4 business days. In my first 2 tries, I used my main loadout. I thought it would be easy because I destroyed high rank Valhazak before. What a fool I was. This bastard is broken. He has a gazillion health, insane speed, and that bullshit health debuff. At first, I thought it wouldn't be a problem, but it was. This was one of the rare hunts where I actually had to prepare. I built full immunity to his dumb fart clouds. But tell me, does he give a fuck in this clip? Wanna capture him to finish faster? Fuck you. It's an elder dragon. You can't capture them. So you can put that shock trap far up your ass. I'm sorry, I know maybe I just didn't get lucky with him 5 times in a row, but I'd rather fight 10 Raytheons at once than be willing to see Valhazak ever again. Maybe I just need to learn him more, and then it will get easier. But right now, only by giving birth you can feel half of the pain I felt while fighting this creature. And as the game goes on, monsters only get harder. Like, landing a single hit becomes a challenge harder. So I had to try other weapons. The next one I picked was the gun lance, mainly because it can do this. I was sold, didn't care what else it could do. That was all I needed. It's fast enough to keep up with any beast. It has a dash instead of a dodge. And the shield that blocks almost anything. Perfect for learning what those new Pokemon can do. So yeah, it felt fresh, but it needed a completely new build, different skills, different armor, and I didn't feel like that's the one. So I suffered my way through the start with my friend and a greatsword, farmed some resources, and finally got myself a brand new Blaze insect glaive. Try and guess who it's made out of. It was the best decision I ever made. It's the complete opposite of the slow and heavy greatsword, but I loved it. It's not the best DPS weapon, but it gets the job done. And more importantly, it gets it done in style. Once you unsheath your insect glaive, you basically gain the ability to fly. You instantly become a menace to any monster, especially flying ones, because touching the ground becomes harder than escaping from that scary pig. This high adrenaline razor blade also comes with built-in stand. You can command it to attack your opponent, and it brings you buffs based on where it hits. There's a list of different insects, each with its own stats, but I won't go too deep into the details. All you gotta know is that it's super fun, and it helped me to get through the ending boss, which was pretty weird, so let's actually talk about that. After suffering my way through the main story, I've killed countless beasts and died at least twice as much, but that's not the point. A lot of monsters actually made me prepare for a fight, made me craft different elemental weapons and builds, but I was still rushing trying to speedrun my way through the endgame, just to see what I was missing. And I kept wondering, how hard would the final boss be? To my surprise, it wasn't as bad as fucking Nargigante they shoved right before it. Look, I don't want to rage about every single monster in this expansion. I really love Capcom and how much hard work they put into Iceborne. Like, no doubt, one of the best games ever made. But god, that was a torture. I think it took me, what, 30 minutes and 4 separate tries just to beat this bat on steroids. I didn't want to prep for him, so I just tried my absolute best to stay alive. And after becoming one with my paralysis insect glaive, I finally got my ass beaten again. But I got him though. Fortify does miracles. And after predicting every single fart this Nargigante could kill me with, I was exhausted. I had to take a break before the real final fight. And the boss? Phase 1, 10 out of 10. The relief when I realized it was a giant slow rock monster after 90% of the game was Tigers and Crack, unreal. Thankfully, I had an ice hammer made from Barioth's foreskin, perfect against rock armor. The fight went pretty smooth, but right as I got to stage 2. What is that? Oh no, it has a second stage. My recording just stopped. Turns out, I ran out of space on my drive. So I did what any sane person would do. I downloaded more memory and got back to killing again. If you're wondering, by this point I had recorded an entire terabyte of my own suffering. So, attempt number 2. I actually pulled off something cool. This. Holy shit. And it felt amazing. I was enjoying fighting this rock monster even for the second time until the next phase kicked in. Uh-oh. What the fuck is this? Don't tell me this isn't... how do you pronounce it?
Xenojiva.
Xenojiva, but yellow. Fun fact. I hate Xenojiva. Second phase was pretty boring. You just chase it trying to land 2 hits without getting sandblasted into the afterlife. And repeat. Although, I'll admit, the Kamehameha it does looks sick. Other than that, there's nothing too interesting. Arena traps never worked for me. You piece of shit. So you're basically stuck in a cage with a giant pissed off axolotl, armed with nothing but a stick. I was this close to failing that one, but I came prepared. With a Firecaster in my pocket, that thing saved my life. It let me skedaddle right out of that torture, back to camp, restock and swap back to more suitable paralysis glaive. Yeah, I really wanted that W, and that's what helped me slay this giant beast. Oh, finally. Oh, 35 minutes. Then I had to sit through like 6 hours of unskippable cutscenes and bam, finally, I could move on to the true endgame boss. The hardest one in Monster Hunter, dare I say, in all of gaming. I knew Iceborne was going to be hard, but I never expected it to put me up against something this violent, this relentless, this overpowered. You know who I'm talking about. Hey Tap.
The greatest Jaguars.
I finished Iceborne in like 2 hours, thanks to my godlike skills. The other 70 were me preparing for the greatest Jaguars. Sadly, I can't even show you most of the footage. Too graphic. It's something you need to experience yourself. And after all that, all you gotta know is, with all my strength and courage, I beat the greatest Jaguars. All by myself. And that's basically Iceborne. Well, like 30% of it. Turns out there's still a ton of content I didn't even touch yet. Like the Gilding Lands with that giant Monsuno looking bear. New quests, even more monsters you guys wanted to see me fight. Or let's be real, get absolutely demolished by. And you're probably wondering where's the rest. Well, like I said earlier, I ran out of recording space. But something much worse happened. I got a job. Yeah, sorry for the jump scare. That's why it took like forever to upload this one. I don't have as much free time now, and that really sucks. But when I do, I'm working on the video as much as I can, because honestly it's a lot of fun. You've all been insanely supportive of my ongoing journey of animal abuse, I mean monster hunting. Hopefully the next one will come out sooner. I was planning to make it about the rest of the torturing content Iceborne still has to offer. So you guys can type below what you want to see in it. And if you enjoyed this one, leave a like and your full banking information. Massive thanks to all of you. Alright, wrapping up now, cause I can run out of memory any second.